Hey everybody, welcome back to 2 Acres Evolving. Today I wanted to come out and just walk around my property and talk with you all about my plans for 2022. 2021 did not go how I wanted it to at all, so I'm really wanting to be smart about 2022 and really put a lot of focus into it and get a lot of things done this year. We've had pretty mild weather so far this year. The week of Christmas we had record high temperatures that got up close to 80 degrees, and we had a cold front move through on New Year's Day, and now the high is only 30 today. So that's why I look a little bit different than I normally do. Last night it got down to 12 degrees, and that's the lowest it's gotten since February of last year. So I wanted to start off in this area over here in my backyard because this is where I moved the greenhouse. So I kind of wanted to talk to you all about that greenhouse and the plans that I have for that specific area, and then I'll walk around my property. So as you can see, this building is what I refer to as my plant room. You've probably seen me post a few pictures and talking about my plant room. Well, that's this building right here that I have in my backyard. And I have this greenhouse that Vincent gave me from Our Rustic Life. I did have it all the way over there in the back on my other property. But with winter coming, I wanted to move it up closer to the house. So I moved it to the side of this building temporarily. So I'm gonna have to figure a couple of things out with this greenhouse. It warms up pretty nicely when it's a sunny day out, and during the day, I'm sure, I haven't been in there since this morning, so I'm sure it's pretty warm in there right now, even though it's 30 degrees out here. But when I went in there this morning, it was 15 degrees outside and it was 50 degrees inside the greenhouse. So let me run in there real quick and I'll show you what the temperature is right now. Yep, it's pretty warm in here. So it's 30 degrees outside and it's 72 degrees in here. And it looks like it's been up to 79 degrees today in this greenhouse. I have this small heater out here, but during the night, this one heater does not cut it. And I have a fan circulating some air out here. You'll notice that I do not have very many plants out here right now at all. Since it got down to 12 degrees last night, I was really worried about them being out here since it doesn't stay very warm at night, so I moved them all into my plant room. So I have another heater ordered, and it's supposed to be here sometime this week, so I'm going to install that in here and see if that does any better. Let me step out of here real quick, and I want to kind of tell you my plans for this area. So this greenhouse is a 10 by 20 greenhouse, and it's really just a cold frame. It's not insulated at all, so it does not hold much heat at all. With that heater in there, it was 12 degrees last night, and when I came out here about 10 last night, it was down to 30 inside the greenhouse. So I really didn't want to leave my tender plants in there, so I moved them into the plant room yesterday, where it's, well, let me walk in there and see what the temperature is. It's very warm in here. It is 64 degrees. So it stays quite a bit warmer in this plant room. So I moved all of my plants in here so they wouldn't die in the cold. So I mentioned that this greenhouse is right here temporarily. I'm going to be moving it again probably this spring because I want to build a permanent greenhouse the same size, 10 by 20, so it'll come out as far as this greenhouse is right here, and I want it to be the same shape as the plant room building. So with that, I'm going to look into different insulation options, and I have all those windows I showed in the video that I was cleaning the plant room out. I moved all those windows out, and I'm going to use those windows for the greenhouse as well. I also have a gas line that's run to the plant room. The previous owners that owned this house before me, they had a gas line ran out there and a heater out there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a two-way gas fireplace that you can look through, and have it on the wall between my plant room and my permanent greenhouse, and see if that will keep both the greenhouse and my plant room warm. I'm thinking that I won't have any problems as long as I have good insulation in the permanent greenhouse. So when I get that built, I will go into more detail about that particular project. Off the front of the greenhouse, I have all these plants out here that have really low zone numbers, like zones 4 and 5, that they need a dormant period and they can handle the colds. So I'm not worried about these plants out here at all. You can see over here on the back side of the greenhouse and the plant room, this area I have not shown very much of. Right now I did some tree work, so I have a bunch of tree branches and stuff that needs to be burned. And then I have some pallets over here, and then the raised beds that I have never gotten a chance to use. I have a project for these pallets, that's why I have them stacked back here. But all of this is going to be burnt, and this will all be lawn next year. And then I plan on, around all these trees, instead of having to come through and mow around all these trees, I'm thinking about just cutting out a flower bed along this fence line back here through all these trees, and just have all this flower bed that curves around and goes through all these trees over here on this side as well, and then have all this where all these branches are be just yard grass. I have this storage building back here, and what I'm wanting to do with this is build a privacy fence. Let me get around here real quick. I'm wanting to build a privacy fence off the front of it right here and come out about maybe 10 or 15 feet, and then go straight back to the fence back here and have all of this space back here for storage. And I want to do a privacy fence around it just so I don't have to look at it every day. I can store things back here, kind of like I have right now. Store things that I have for projects and stuff that I'm not using at the moment, and I can just store it all back here and not have to look at it every day. I have my vegetable garden area all tilled up. I'm not going to show much of this area because I am in the middle of a video project with this area right now. My cabbage and broccoli plants, I'm a little worried about them, but I think they're going to be okay. I've got quite a bit of broccoli on them. Get out of the sun. Every one of them have broccoli. With it getting down to 12, I'm a little worried about them. They're looking a little sad, but hopefully they'll pull through. The cabbage plants look really good. I'm not too worried about them because it doesn't look like the cold phased them at all. But this area, I have some stumps back here that I need to burn out, which I'm going to use those branches over there to burn these out. But that's going to be in probably my next video. And then we'll come out front here. So this flower bed I did this past year. Nothing much has changed with this since the last time you saw it. I'll be planting it up more in the spring. But this area over here on the west side of my property, I have really big plans for this area, and here comes my neighbor's dog, so I may have to go away and come back or she'll keep barking. But I don't know if you can see it very well on the camera, but you can see that I have this area cut out where it curves, and this cutout is going to be a 4-foot wide flower bed, and I'm wanting to do a hedge of some kind over here to split up the yard from this specific area over here. This area over here I'm going to plant grass, have grass pathways, and then flower beds. I'm going to have a flower bed around this group of trees. I'll have a flower bed around the corner trees over there, and then just have the 4-foot flower bed where this is cut out already. It'll go all the way down, and I want to put a hedge in this flower bed over here. I'm trying to determine if I want to do a boxwood hedge that'll stay green year round, or if I want to do a hedge of hydrangeas over here that will have a little bit of color during the summer months, but will go dormant in the winter. So I haven't quite decided on that. Okay, so the dog decided he wanted to come over and bark, so I'm gonna move on. What are your all's thoughts on that area? In that curved area that I already have cut out, what would you all do? Would you all do a boxwood hedge that stays green year round, or would you do hydrangeas, something like hydrangeas that will have a little bit of color during the summer months and then go dormant in the winter? I'm conflicted because I don't know exactly what to do. So leave a comment down below and let me know what you all would do in that area. So up here by the house, it's a little hard to see because of the shade right now, but I need to come out and clean this flower bed up. I've got some annuals that are dead that I need to clean out, and the perennials I need to come in and cut back. I probably should have done that before now, but just haven't had a chance to get out here and get those cut back yet. You can see we had a little bit of snow last night. This area is shaded so it hasn't melted yet. So we didn't get much snow at all. This over here, this green, is the super petunias. These are annuals, but these have really hung on strong this year. There's no blooms on them, they're just green, but they've really hung on and I've been happy with them. The red twig dogwood, I hope you all can see that in the camera, but the branches are really bright red right now that it's dormant. I'm going to be moving this to another area this spring because it just gets way too big for this flower bed. It takes up the entire center part of this flower bed, and I really don't want anything that big. I don't quite know what I was thinking when I planted it there, but I plan on moving it this spring and cutting it back so that it don't get too huge. This flower bed up here next to my driveway is doing really good. The arborvitaes, I need to get drip tubes run to this area. And like I've mentioned before, I plan on making that a focus from now until spring to get drip tubes run through each of my flower beds, because it's gonna make it a whole lot easier to get the plants all watered consistently rather than having to come out and water them all by hand. The circle flower bed, what I'm going to do is I'm trying to train these. You can see that I've cut the bottom portion. There's no blooms down there. I'm trying to train these limelight hydrangeas into kind of a tree form so that I can plant things up underneath them. I'm probably, because these limelight hydrangeas aren't very big yet, I'm probably going to plant this area up with annuals that need full sun, like super petunias would do really good here, because I want to fill in the complete circle with color and then have the hydrangeas growing out of it. I think that would look really good for this circle. And then I have this circle over here that needs major work. This is going to be another focus for me for 2022. I need to come in right now and weed it. There's a lot of weeds in there right now. I've got a blue spruce in the middle, and then I want to plant it up with annuals to have a little bit of quick color in this circle area. And then I may do a couple of other things. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do in this circle bed as of yet. Down here, this wooded area that I have down here at the bottom of my yard, grass does not grow very well down here because it's full of trees. So I think what I'm going to do is do a lot of flower beds in this area and rock pathways. This area over here, I plan on doing, over on the other side of my driveway, I plan on doing one large flower bed in the middle and then just rock around it with some decorative rock. I think that'll look really good on both sides of my driveway. And then if we come over here to the lot next door, so as you can see, I have a ton of work to do over here. I've got a burn pile there in the middle that I need to get taken care of. And then up here at the top, let me come up here real quick. So eventually, this area at the top I'm gonna have as an orchard, but I'm not gonna be able to get to it this year, I don't think. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run drip tubing in lines out here and have this, I'm gonna plant a bunch of vine crops like pumpkins and squash and watermelon and stuff like that. I think I'm gonna plant out here instead of over in my vegetable garden area, because those plants tend to get rather large, and I don't want to take up my vegetable garden area over in my backyard with large plants like that. So I think I'm going to use this space. I need to come in and remove some of the trees so that this area gets full sun. There's a few over there that I'm keeping, like this grouping right here. I'm keeping, and that's where I'm going to put my chicken coop eventually. That is going to be another thing that I'm going to be putting in this year, is a chicken coop. And it's going to go under these trees right here. I'll probably keep those two and then this one right here, and put the chicken coop right here in the middle so that they have a little bit of shade during the hot summer months. And then this area down here at the bottom, I plan on doing more vegetable plants. Like I want to plant a bunch of corn down here in this space that I'm not using. I want to put a building over here in this area, but I'm not going to be able to do that this year. So I want to utilize the space temporarily instead of just having empty space this year. I want to use it for growing vegetables. And then as we come down here, this entire area is wooded right here. I had a guy come out a couple years ago and clear out a lot of it, because this back here you couldn't see through. It was densely wooded and had a bunch of weeds and stuff growing up, so he came through and cleaned a bunch of it up. And so now you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not, but there's a pathway through the trees right here. So I plan on planting grass, a shade-tolerant grass through here, and then having flower beds on the sides, and then sporadically through here, and have the rest grass through here. I think that would look really good. And I have a clearing in the middle right here. There's a clearing that I want to put some kind of a structure right here. I think I'm going to go with a gazebo right here in the middle. I need to come out here and do a lot more cleaning, but I just want all this to be shade-tolerant grass and flower beds all through here, this wooded area. That'll make this lot over here look quite a bit better than what it looks like now. So that's some of my plans that I have for 2022. I've got a lot more that I want to do. I just need to really sit down and list everything that I want to do this year and just go through and check them off as I do them. I think that'll help me to stay focused and to stay on task. Another thing that I want to push myself to do, and you all have to bear with me on this one, but I want to start doing live videos on a schedule, like do it once a week on a certain day. And that's nerve-wracking for me, because with these videos, I can go through and edit them and edit out any mistakes that I make, but live is live. Anything that happens, everyone sees. So it makes me a little bit nervous, but I really want to push myself outside of my comfort zone and start doing live videos, I think. So let me know down in the comments if that's something you all would like to see, if you would like to see me do live videos and kind of just give you updates for that specific week and stuff like that. I don't know exactly what they'll look like, but I think I want to try it out just to see what happens. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I know it's kind of different than my normal project videos, but with it being so cold and the ground is frozen right now, I wasn't able to get out and do much of a project. I wanted to get the vegetable garden area video done today, but that wasn't going to happen with it being so cold and the ground frozen. So it's no big deal. It's supposed to warm up by next weekend. So next weekend I'll be able to work on that and get that video out. But thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.